Well, good evening, folks. Everybody, welcome to Bengaluru, India. It's the Fiba Asia Women's Cup, and it's New Zealand taking on China. Well, 3 down, 1 to go here in the Division A of this FIBA Asia Women's Cup. It's the first time ever, get this, that New Zealand will play in this competition. We've already seen Australia play their first game, and they were hugely impressive earlier today. Here are the standings so far in this group of China, New Zealand. Chinese Taipei obviously just winning a real thriller against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So the winner of this game will also go to 1-0. Who knows? This is the schedule for today. Australia winning against South Korea earlier today, 78-54. And boy, they were really impressive, folks. Japan just completely overmatched the Philippines, and as we said, North Korea winning their game, falling in their game just now to Chinese Taipei.
Team China.
And now,
number 2,
what I would consider
Yi.
really one of the showpieces of the day,
number
New
4,
Zealand tall firms team that is
Shui
always
Feng.
going to come out
number
and fight,
5,
play with a lot of
Chen
heart.
Xiaoxia.
Going up against
number 6,
probably
Ming.
the powerhouse of Asian
number
basketball
7, Shao Ting.
for many
number
years,
9,
although they've kind of fallen in the
Zhao
pecking order really for the
number
last
10,
few years. Don't
Lu
forget,
Ben.
they still play at the Olympic Games.
number
They
11,
play
Guang
in Rio de
Xijing.
Janeiro. This is a team
number
that has a lot of
12,
experience.
Gao Song.
And I guess you'd say, being in
number
Asia,
13,
they start as
Sun
the
Mingran.
favorites. I'm Jeff Taylor,
number
and joined
14,
by Mick Bett.
Wang
And
Hongpin.
we've just caught our breath,
number
Mick,
16,
from a game
Yuero.
that we just did not expect
Coach
to see with
Zhu Limin,
the People's
assistant
Republic of Korea
coaches,
almost getting
Zheng
a
Wei
shot
and
win
Michelle Timms.
over Chinese Taipei. So I don't know what's
Wearing
going to
the
happen
white
to these things.
jersey
Maybe
and
the tall firms
presenting
are going to get a
Team
win
New
tonight.
Zealand for the first time
good
in
evening,
India.
everyone. Jeff, who knows? I mean, wouldn't it be great
number
to
2,
see New
Michaela
Zealand come
Cox.
here and make a challenge?
Number 4,
nothing
Kalani
suggests they
Purcell.
should make a challenge. They play hard.
number 5,
They're organised,
Georgina Agnew.
and you know what?
number 6,
We
Zara
just seen that game
Megan.
just now with
Gillies.
Korea, North Korea.
Number
almost
7,
stood on the
Antonia
tables on
Edmondson.
Chinese Taipei.
Number
It's
8,
made for a
Natalie
great tournament
Taylor.
now. It's really set
number
things up
9,
nicely
Rebecca
for everybody.
Ott. Number 10,
This will be
Shavana
a good game
Palwas.
too, I'm sure.
Number 11,
Well, my
Jessica
last
Bailey.
memory of New
Number
Zealand
12,
was watching
Gillian
them fall
Harman.
kind of heartbreak. I mean, they
13,
played
Josephine
unbelievably
Stockill.
well at the FIBA
Number
Women's
15,
Olympic qualifying
Franklin
tournament against
Dina.
France, and I'd
Coach
say for the first
Kennedy
25 minutes,
Karima.
and then they kind of faded.
And
But
assistant
that's almost
coaches
to be
Ek
expected
Ho
against France.
and
France are just
Guy
good,
Malloy.
they're deep, and they were at home. And then they
And the
almost beat
officials
Cuba,
for this match,
but lost really
the crew chief,
in
Mr.
very
Raj
difficult
Narayan
circumstances
Patro
at the end
from
of the
India.
game. So thinking that was going to be the last game for Gillian Harman. She's come back to play. China, meanwhile, they grabbed one of those spots at the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament, and they went to Rio de Janeiro, but they didn't really have a good tournament in Brazil. So they are now back, both these teams trying to reestablish themselves and trying to get to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup next year in Spain. To do that, they'd have to finish in the top 4. We're going to have the playing of both national anthems now for China and New Zealand. So now the national anthem for New Zealand. So the national anthems have been played for both teams, and New Zealand in white, they are the Tall Ferns. I think New Zealand might just have the best nicknames in all of international sport. What do you think, Nick? Here are the referees for today's game. From India, Korea, and Japan, Petro Lee and Matsumoto. And before we look at the rosters for both of these teams, don't think this New Zealand team doesn't have experience. I mean, they've got players that have played at the Olympics before. I mean, Gillian Harman played, Natalie Taylor played, Michaela Cox played at the 2008 Olympics in China. So,
and that's deep experience, Jeff, isn't it? Playing with the team. Now, take a country like New Zealand, it's rugby, then cricket. Basketball takes the pickings of the athletes that are left. It doesn't have a great big population. The number of players playing there, as you see the Chinese lineup there. You've seen more of these guys than I have, Jeff. But you know full well they're big, they're strong, they're quick, and you know, their skill development is very good in China.
Chen Xiaojia, number 5, the point guard. Xiao Ting, really the star, plays the WNBA, number 7. Gao Song, number 12. Sun Min Gran, a lot of experience, as well as Wong Hongpin, number 14. So, and they've also got an Australian assistant coach, Australian legend, FIBA Hall of Famer, Michelle Tins. And for New Zealand, Michaela Cox up at the top. She is a battler. Kalani Purcell is one of the young ones that's really stepping up. Tony Edmondson, she's a big scorer, number 7. Natalie Taylor has come back to the team this year. Gillian Harman, what can you say about her, number 12? She almost put New Zealand on her back and carried them into at least deep into the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament last year. Absolute star and a champion in Italy this year. We thought maybe that was the last that we would have seen of her last year, but Coach Kennedy Kariyama in New Zealand were lucky that she decided that she wanted to keep playing. Nothing quite like playing for the national team, it seems.
No, I agree. There is nothing like once she's selected, you play.
And of course, it's Gillian Harman, Harmon, and Xiao Ting going up. And wanted to highlight those two players. Xiao Ting, huge, really started to take off her career at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. In 2014, Zhu Lehman, a former assistant, now the head coach. But Harman played at Stanford University, played in that 2008 Olympic Games, and you know, she's still a big-time player. And with her and Cox, we'll see. Perhaps China might have the advantage in depth. I know a couple of players were not with the New Zealand team this year from the college ranks that Kennedy Kariyama, the New Zealand coach, would have liked to have had, but we think he's got a pretty good squad.
And you know, one thing's for sure, this team's going to come out and play hard, just like the Australian team, and they're going to give you everything on the floor. They're not going to shy away in any way, shape, or form against this huge Chinese lineup. They will be outgunned in terms of height, but going to make up for it, I'm sure, with a lot more heart, or as much heart.
You certainly don't want to downplay the skills and the abilities of the Tall Ferns, and they can play. Now, if you talking about players that are missing, Panina Davidson from last year, big time, you know, center, plays at UCal Berkeley in the Pac-10, and also missing Stella Beck, obviously one of the real up-and-comers. They both played a lot of minutes last year. Aaron Rooney is a player they would like to have, but one thing that we all know about international basketball is you're not often able to count on everybody, so it's the next man up philosophy, in this case the next woman up philosophy.
And you know what, when your name is called, you serve, and that's it.
Yep.
International basketball, just in a nutshell.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Bengaluru, India. It could be in the morning where you're watching, could be afternoon for us. It's early evening on the subcontinent, and we're off. It's China in the dark uniforms attacking the basket on the right of your screen, going up against the New Zealand Tall Ferns. And a foul called on Michaela Cox, stepping right in front. The penetration seemed a bit of a rough call against New Zealand right from the off. She may have slid in there too late.
I'm not sure it was Cox, Jeff. Just trying to think what number that.
No, it was Paul Vost. It was Paul Vost was the call. So I don't know if it was a reach or a trip.
Yeah, I think it was more of a trip. She came in from the side, and lucky for Zhao, she got the shot up in the air to get the 2 shots too.
So Zhao Shuang gets China on the board. And Gao Song in that starting lineup, guarding Edmondson. Gillian Harman. Now Edmondson puts up a 3. One of the big differences for China this year than in recent times is the fact that they don't have to have a translator to listen to the coach. And Edmondson turns it over right into the hands of Gao Song. And China, an impressive start for them. They're out to a 4-0 lead.
Beautiful pass, and Gao was right there to trail the fast break and finish. Soft touch.
Shin Yi starting at guard, number 2, applying that full court pressure. And so the youngster out there.
Zhao gets called for the
Li Yuri, just 18 years of age. Look at this, how they push the ball up the floor quickly, and how the big center runs the court. Or, excuse me, that was Gao Song.
He's got a foul down this end, Jeff. Zhao Shuang just being a little too personal, defensive-wise. Too many hands in the cookie jar sort of thing. Great pass.
Harman, shot under duress in the paint. And right now it's China taking the fight to New Zealand. New Zealand trailing by 4. Gao Song banks it in. Xiao Ting, excuse me. Purcell. And the foul on Gao Song.
Yeah, very lucky too, Purcell, because I think following that foul, she must have been very close to pulling off a foul with an offensive shoulder charge. I'm pretty sure this will get very physical, this one, Jeff.
Purcell gets inside, puts it up, and gets an and 1. So good aggressive play from Purcell.
Oh, look at this big, strong move, just barreled away to the hoop. Defense could do nothing about that.
She's got a lot of experience. Played at Brigham Young, college basketball in America. Had a really good career there. Short on the free throw. Xiao Ting drives in and once again gets into the lane and is able to score. That was not Edmondson. Just ignore that. Now Edmondson has the ball for New Zealand. Cox, difficult shot, and ended up with a decent look, but didn't get any love from the rim of the backboard. And good hands from Paul Vost. Cox evades the defender, Paul Vost, and the difficult pass out of reach for Cox.
Just got a little out of control there, Paul Vost in the corner, never got her angles right. She put the ball on the floor, but she was definitely crowded out defensively. Maybe just one of those games that's going to be a defensive battle come the end of this one, because both teams are going to really go at it in terms of playing hard.
And the interior pass, and
Fouls
Foul
on
call.
Edmondson, number 7 against Xiaoting 7. So just on the wrong side of it. She made that cut, playing on the backside rather than just getting in front of it.
And they're trying to make the bounce pass, but Cox read it beautifully.
Well, Xiaoting had the jump shot, didn't she? Had so much space.
Working too good for too good of a shot.
Yeah, just working a little robotically.
Harman, step back, and still can't get to fall. They'll settle for that shot if they can get it. She needs to make it. 3-point attempt, and well short. And Paulvust with the board. So slow start by the Tall Ferns, down 8-2, looking for points. Cox for 3. The reach. And Purcell called for the foul.
Game had a good start in terms of tempo, Jeff. Just waned off a little bit because of the, I think because of the defensive pressure. Both teams really intent on getting in passing lanes.
Xiaoting. An offensive rebound. And the long three-pointer is good. So that was Lee. And now it's a 9-point lead for China. Offensive foul, illegal screen on Purcell.
I'm not sure what Kalani Purcell did. There is the 3 here from Lee Men. Just a little flick of the wrist.
And Kariyama has to call a timeout. So it's a slow start for the Tall Ferns, down to 9, 4.5 minutes into the contest. But a great start for China. They, you know, Tomar is no longer the coach, but they still look aggressive. They're pushing it up the floor quickly when they can. And, you know, we've already seen one player come off the bench and make a couple of plays and lead.
And they're a fluid team, Jeff. There's no doubt about it. You know, offensively, they know what they're doing. They know the cuts to make. They know fundamentally they know what they're doing offensively and defensively. As long as you can get to momentum and intensity level, you're going to be a decent team. I know you mentioned Coach Xu Li Min here is a real hard-nosed coach and takes no prisoners in terms of what he expects and what he wants. That's exactly what you need at the national team level.
I know he's hard in the workouts, I've heard, but he's, you know, if they can win some games here, his stock will go up without question. They've got a great start against New Zealand, and New Zealand a little bit worried with how they have started. Dina Franklin, I think, is checking in. No, Josie Stockhill. Josephine Stockhill, to be precise. And good D from the Tall Ferns.
Yeah, and smothering defense too, and similar. They'll play similar defense to the way the Australians played. In your face, getting in passing lanes.
Oh, Stockhill's got to be careful with that pass. 8 on the shot clock. Boy, the pressure for China is telling right now. Look at that, intercepted. They're not going to get a shot off.
Yeah, that was an offense that went nowhere pretty quickly, didn't it? No real control over what was going on there, the Tall Ferns.
This is probably where you see the difference. you know, the absence of your big center coming off the bench from last year for New Zealand with the physicality of this game.
But you know what? It's not hurting them defensively, is it? Because they're managing to get enough deflections. Referees have stopped the clock because the shot clock is not running. You know, if you're Kennedy Kiriyama here, you're not unhappy at all, are you? You're down by 6 or down by 9, 11-2. But really, it could be much worse. Your team hasn't settled yet. You're just really looking for some stroke of genius from somebody to settle the troops down, get them into a rhythm.
Yeah, it's more at the offensive end. You're right. He's coping with this pressure by China. Certainly, Panina Davidson would be a nice weapon to have. Paul Voss, boy, Chinese are all over the tall ferns.
Well, they're playing some wonderful defense, aren't they? They're going to have to find some ways of scoring easy shots here, the tall ferns.
Stockhill got it in the lane and just had to put it up with the shot clock winding down. Natalie Taylor's going to come in for Edmondson. Now, Natalie Taylor's actually the older sister of Purcell, but she's married, has a different name. So you got a couple of sisters in this Tall Ferns team. Good D from Stockhill, reaches around and just kind of illustrates your point. They're doing a decent job on that end of the floor.
Well, both teams completely cancel each other out, and the difference is China got off to a better start.
Stockhill's got a good shot. She's gonna give it back over to Harman. Look how deep they are on the shot clock every time. Stockhill in the lane. Good position, but just didn't finish. Hong Pen. Hong Pen. And that's her game right there.
Long and tall, Jeff. You're not going to block that very easy. A little fade away with that jump shot, too. Now, the Chinese are switching every screen. So if you're New Zealand, you've got to come up with ways of combating that screen, of that switch, sorry.
Harman over to Cox from the corner. And Stockhill, I think, is going to be...
Well, she's going to get the foul. She was knocked
All
over,
right.
but I think she was holding on to the
Wang. Here's Hong Pen when she turned and shot it. Just a soft touch. And already in the bonus.
More fouls than points. That's a worrying sign.
Yeah, you could see how Stockhill kind of had her arms around Hong Pen there. And then as Hong Pen kind of backed up and went down, it was easy call for the ref. New Zealand has missed their only attempt, and now China 3 of 4 at the line. Paul Voss drives. Oh, difficult shot, makes it, and earns a trip to the line.
And Jeff, that's what you're looking for. A little bit of inspiration, a little bit of a chance to celebrate something and maybe get some momentum swinging their way. Great move here down the lane from Palvast.
Well, she ought to be able to beat Hong Pen, who came out. And then even though the help came, she is able to score. And this time they do convert to three-point play. That was on Huang Jing, the foul. Number 11. And now the ball goes out of bounds off of China.
She will sit down here, Jeff, and replacement Xiao Shuangin, number 9, and the youngster 16, Li Yeru.
Taylor has it, guarded by Lu Wen. Tough, very tough, experienced Chinese player. Look how far they've pushed that New Zealand offense out. Cox with a pump fake, puts it up, and hits a three. I don't think they can rely on this in terms of offense. Running it, you know, it's down to shot clock, and they're just kind of like scrambling to get a shot.
Jeff,
but they've been able to get something.
Go back to practice yesterday. New Zealand were the only team that didn't go 5-on-5 with their offenses. They really just walked through everything. They look a little disjointed in terms of ammunition on the offensive end.
Well, that time Cox tried to feed Harman, and the ball goes back over to Lu Ming, and she draws a foul.
Yeah, they got a luxury in Lu Ming at the point guard position. He's very tall, 6'1", maybe 6'2". It's a big, powerful option to have at that position.
Yep, Li Ming. She played at the 2014 FIBA Women's World Championship, but she didn't play the last couple of years. So now she's back, and really only 22 years of age. So, player that has seemingly a big future. Edmondson back in. The Tall Ferns could use Edmondson to get going. She's a scorer, but she's trying to force that.
I don't think she's even looking at the hoop. Was she never really got herself in a position to square her body up.
Good D from Cox again.
China need to keep an eye on this because they only lead by 8. So we're still a minute to go in the first quarter. They can't find much headway themselves, really.
Look at the D again from Harman, batting it out. And now the pass right into the hands of Tony Edmondson. Can she get a break? And they're going to call a foul.
Tough call. Tough goal. Xiao Shuang just managed to get good position. Looked like Edmondson was causing most of the contact.
You know, Xiao Shuang is another of these players who was kind of lost in the shuffle as we look at Edmondson going to the line the last several years. I mean, she was like the up-and-coming star for China. Played at the Olympics in London 2012, played at the FIBA Asia Championship for women in 2013, and this is her first time back. She just fell out of favor, seemingly, with Coach Tom Marr. So he's brought back a couple of players. The coach.
Well, hopefully she'll make the most of it, that's for sure. A little press here from the Tall Ferns down the floor, 1-3-1.
Here she is. And the pass to Xiao Ting, and again, those quick New Zealand hands force the turnover, and they're only down 6. Natalie Taylor. Cox is working hard out there. I mean, she is playing a lot of minutes. Here's Harman. And Stockhill from the baseline. If they're going to work that hard to get that shot, she's got to knock it down. And there, they bailed out the Chinese because she was taking a tough shot. Even though she was driving to the basket, it didn't even look close. Shen Yi.
Yeah, Shen Yi very direct with her approach there. Knew full well we're on the great outlet, by the way, by Li Yuru from the defensive rebound. But the fast break play of China, very good to see, very good to see.
She only makes 1 of 2. And I think they might call the foul on Stockhill because she had both of her hands on the Chinese center pushing her away.
Well, it was, and the rule is generally if you're going to box out, you got your back to the person you're trying to box out, not facing her with 2 hands on her. But it was, yeah, I agree, Jeff. Good call.
So Jessica Bygate's going to come into the game.
That's a good option defensively, wouldn't you think? Because the option that Bygate will give you rebounding-wise is probably a bit stronger than Stockhill. especially now with these free throws and the low block.
What do you think about the 18-year-old getting in there at the line? Big opportunity for her, already making it into the senior team.
And you know what? What's the adage, Jeff? If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Long rebound, and New Zealand having a hard time getting the ball back. China by 7. Zhao Xuan over to Gao Song, and finally the Tall Ferns get it. Harman, the player, they've got to get on track. They've got to get something from her. Edmondson. Shot clock's not even running. As you can see, the final seconds ticking off the clock. And that's it for the opening quarter. So low scoring first quarter.
And you know what?
China leading at 17-10. And you look at the shooting stats, you see New Zealand having an almighty struggle offensively. Just 2 of 9 inside the arc, 1 of 4 from the arc. China, meanwhile, 4 of 6 inside the arc. So make it 17-10, China on top of New Zealand. And I cut you off. You were about to say something.
Yeah, just about to say, if you're Kennedy Kariyama, as poorly as your team have played, you look at the scoreboard.
Well, poorly offensively. I mean, they've been fighting with defense.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always say defense is a given, isn't it? That should not be a negotiable.
That should be consistent.
Yeah, exactly right. That's, you know, if you're playing poor defensively, then you are going to get very irate. But offensively, things aren't going, but they're only down by 7. We're a couple of shots away from being right in contention. So China, on the other hand, have struggled with their offense. They've struggled with the defense of New Zealand. They've had the upper hand, but they're going to have to watch their eye, because they easily could get pegged back quite quickly.
So Purcell is going to come back into the game. I guess you have to take the good with the bad with her. Now, she picked up those 2 early fouls, but she was also being aggressive. You know, for the longest time, her 2 points were the only 2 points on the board for New Zealand. But Kariyama is going to, I guess you'd say, roll the dice. Meanwhile, Stockhill has 3 fouls and is on the bench. And Harman's handoff, and that just triggers a break and an easy one for China. So just a little miscommunication there.
You know, it's almost too complicated what they're trying to get into. Too easy to turn the ball over, a lot of under pressure. They've got to work some, make these Chinese defenders move around a bit more.
Tony Davidson. Oh, what hustle that was.
Oh, yeah. Everything's a little too difficult right now.
Now, Xiao Ting just threw it right into the hands of Cox. So both teams have just given away buckets. And the drive and the missed layup, and Purcell did not get the rebound that she needed to. Zhao Xuan has it. And the ball goes out of bounds.
think coach would have been much happier if Zhao had gone off 2 feet. The fact that she went off 1 foot and it was airballed, it just looked a reckless shot.
Interesting, we haven't seen Chen Zhaozha yet, the normal starting point guard for China the last few years. She's still on the bench. Tony Edmondson. Now she might be able to exploit this matchup. She pulls up, and it's good. That's the only problem that I see with the big center coming out high. But look at her hustle down the floor, and she just doesn't make the catch, and it gives New Zealand another chance to get closer. And your point, that Kiriyama may be thankful that his team is only down 7 after a difficult first quarter, but that is just an unnecessary turnover.
I don't know where she's going. There's a rule in basketball. You ask the question, where are you going? Just get the ball reversed. You got 4 players on this one side. Here's Edmondson's little jump shot. I think she's been the pick of the players for the Tall Ferns, the number 7. And the pick of the Ferns.
She's going to take a seat, and Paul Voss is coming back in.
Yeah, and that would wind me up as a player. You've just made a jump shot. You're feeling good about yourself. Have a seat. 1-3-1 zone for the Ferns.
Zhao Xuan, and
that'll get him out of that next time. That'll be man-to-man. And that's just what they don't want.
Back to an 8-point game. And that's why that turnover is so costly.
Here's the reversal. Little back screen. I like back screens. And what can they do here?
Cox with the shot clock winding down.
There is no way.
She's got to launch it. And New Zealand going to come away with another opportunity.
Very fortunate to get this ball back again. There's no way it should be that low. They've got to be looking a little more seriously to shoot.
Here's Harman. And again, another turnover.
Passing up shots, Jeff. You've got to get Harman in the game. The only way you're going to get the game is by taking shots. And there's the 3 from China. Look at that. Unloaded by Zhao Xuan. And well, they're going to stay in this 1-3-1. You'd be interested to see whether they get the ball reversed a couple of times and leave. They get the wing wide open. One more reversal to get her open. There it is.
3-pointer. And
and that's what you do against the 1-3-1. One reversal, another reversal, and you either hit the shot or hit the corner. That's back-to-back trays.
Yep, New Zealand had possession, down 5. Now they're down 11. Harman puts it up.
And that's what I was talking about, Jeff. She's got to force it. She's got to take it on herself. They've got to go back man-to-man, surely.
Looks like they're in a 1-3 zone right now.
Yeah, it's a 1-3-1. He's going to risk one more offense. That's 3 from 3. He'll come out of it now, surely. Yeah, he's just signaled one defense. They'll come back man-to-man.
So that was Gao Song for China, hitting the open jumper. Gillian Harman, a little crossover.
There you
puts
go.
It up.
Shake and bake. Yeah, he's signaled one man-to-man. They're going to come out of that zone wise. That cost them 8 points, that zone, Jeff.
Well, they were giving him such a hard time with the man. Now Hong Pen. The captain, Chen.
Well, now they got the Ryan. 3 threes and a 2. That's 11 points since they went to 1-3-1.
Harman gets her feet set, but short. And Kiriyama calls a timeout. Interesting how decisions can change the flow of the game. And now China, having gotten those balls to drop, seem like they've gotten into a shooting rhythm. There's Taylor, who missed that one.
This has got to be 1-on-1, Harman. You can't just put the ball above your head. You're going to run this shot clock low again.
Paul Voss at the line.
Harman signaled for a substitution, I think, was halfway through this second quarter.
Who did?
Harman did.
Oh, Harman, okay. She's playing a lot of minutes. Shot clock winding down. And that was close. Now, Purcell. And here's Harman. Takes the bump from Hong Pen, passes it back outside to Taylor. Now she gets it to Harman, and she is fouled.
That's nice
by Lu Wen.
Nice basketball there. Harman just taking a little more responsibility. The timeout will give Harman a chance to break. We'll see whether she comes back out after the timeout.
I mean, the good news for China is they were able to build that early lead, because New Zealand did kind of find their game, and they got it back to within 5 points. But you know, when you fall behind, sometimes it's difficult to get all the way back.
Well, it is the irony of coaching, right? You change your defense and go to zone. You see some numbers there. Edmondson was 6, and the 2 rebounds too. Palvas the one assist. But you try and change things up as a coach, but sometimes it backfires so dramatically. You're like, why did I do it? You know, you go to zone 1-3-1. They go 3 for 3, 8, 2 threes and a 2-pointer against that zone. But at the same time, you see the leaders there for China with Shen with 6 and Lee 6 rebounds. At the same time, you've actually found some offensive rhythm. So you talked about getting the game back. At the same point, they were scoring down one and they were leaking points down the other end. And it could be frustrating time as coach.
And China 4-7 now from 3-point range. I mean, they're already big enough. They're already getting up the court,
And the tails are up.
transition baskets.
And the confidence is there now as well.
China's biggest lead right now is at 12 points. It's their biggest lead of the game. Their biggest scoring run earlier was when they went on an 8-0 run to go up 14-2, and that was really some of the early blows they were able to land. Now, Bygate's coming back into the game for New Zealand.
And Harman is back, isn't she? They need her out there. Oh no, she's not. She is taking a break, which is what she asked for.
Cox goes baseline, misses with the left.
You know, it's a shocker too, because she had the shot with her right hand to the hoop, causing a bit of contact maybe. Didn't want it.
Now a little bit of a mismatch inside. Hong Pen getting some defense. Oh, how did she get the ball to Shin? And good D from New Zealand.
And you know what? It only becomes a mismatch when you can take advantage. And China had 2 things going there. That's a carry. It's a good call from the referee. Cox put her hand underneath the ball to pass and then went to continue to dribble. That'd be good to see again if we can get that, but it was Cox tried to hide it, but she knows exactly what she did wrong. Had a tough game, Cox, today, not playing particularly well.
And they need her to play well. She does have 3 steals to go to the 3 points, but she's got a couple of turnovers as well and shooting 1 of 6 from the floor. Lu Wen, nowhere really to go, and then looked like she was going to get a layup, and she missed it.
Almost dropped into soft touch.
And Palvas picked up her dribble.
Cardinal sin number 1 as a point guard, isn't it? Get it over half court, pick it up. Here's Cox here. She's got to get her game going.
Here's Bygate.
Shot clocks are fine. They're in trouble again.
And Hong Pen that time had the hands up. Knew it was coming. Li Ming drives in and is fouled. And again, we've seen those China centers come out defensively. You know, you got a chance to blow past them, but
you got the switch, haven't you, off the pick and roll?
But also late in the shot clock. So
yeah, well, you got to create space for yourself. You can't just go into them and hope to shoot over them. Do you get Harman back in the game here? Who's the most important player on this Kiwi team? Is it Harman?
Yeah, there's no question. Offensively, it's Harman.
So you get her in with 2 minutes to go. I don't care how tired she is. You know, she's got to play. You're 12 down now, looking at 14 with these 2 free throws.
And she does make both. Ott, number 9, is in the game.
See, the defense is not hurting them. It's definitely the offense. At 32 points at this stage is not bad, not the end of the world.
For China, yeah. Here's Ott. And again, she gets the high pick from Bygate. Shot clock winding down. Purcell gets it up. Oh no, they're going to say she didn't get off in time.
Yeah. They've got to come up with something, Jeff, that gets more penetration a lot quicker. That ball's got to move quicker. They've got to move themselves quicker. The Chinese defense is switching a lot of the time. That's why you've got bigs matching littles.
Li Ming. Bygate pushes Hong Pen out. Then she has to play D on Li Ming, and she puts it up and in. And this lead now starting to balloon for China.
It is indeed. They're getting schooled right now. China have got their confidence offensively, and defensively they are playing at a very good intensity.
Ott goes baseline. Good D. I mean, you gotta tip your hat to China, how well they're playing defensively on this end of the ball, this end of the court.
Here's the move from Ming. Drew some contact. Jeff, I'm struggling to understand what shot they're looking for. They're looking for a jump shot. They're looking for a layup. Are they trying to set people up for jump shots? It's difficult to see a true pattern in the way they play.
Well, Harman's back in. And we have seen this from New Zealand, getting some penetration and
Edmondson's
getting
your best
fouled.
penetrator. Edmondson can put the ball on the floor with confidence, and she's looking after that ball. This is a tough move here. And Huang Xijing was the foul. Just a little push in the back from behind.
Well, this is a critical 151 really in the game. You know, China they were kind of landing a knockout punch there for the last 45 seconds to a minute. And now Edmondson comes in.
He's got to get
a layup.
Got to try and get it to single digits by the break.
Misses out on the three-point play, however. I actually like the physicality that Bygate brings down low. She's putting her body on Hong Pen. Here's Lu Wen. Hong Pen, though, comes out. And that's the advantage. She's got a soft touch. She's not just going to be on the low block. She's going to go outside. And Bygate didn't follow her. Now Ott, and Harman did well to knock that ball back to Ott. Over to Harman. Boy, they've got hands in the faces. They are really working to get anything they can get right now.
Well, Gillian Harman's got that ability to put the ball on the floor once, twice, and then just rise up with a little fade. And that's maybe what's needed a lot more. It doesn't really matter how many times she misses. You just got to keep shooting.
Lu Wen. And China just, well, it's got the wind in their sails right now offensively.
You're making jump shots. Everything's looking good. Here she goes.
Harman turns, shoots, scores.
Every time, Jeff, you got to keep working it.
Might China hold it? Yeah, they will. They're going to try to take as much time off the clock as they can. Got a 5-second differential in the game clock and the shot clock. If I were Ott, I would be tempted to get up there on her. Oh, and nobody. Well, the foul, she was able to draw the foul from Li Ming. I thought she was going to have a three-point play there with 7 seconds on the shot, on the game clock rather.
The problem with getting up and playing, you give the opportunity for the defense, the offense to drive at you hard, don't you? Because you know there's going to be a penetration, a pick and roll coming from somewhere.
But she still drove hard to the basket.
Yeah, I know, and that shouldn't happen. That's too easy.
Now Schwan's going to come back in, number 9. Nice to see her back in the international game with China. She's a tough character, isn't she, Li Ming? Strong, physical.
Like I said, at that position, point guard position, what an asset to have. She moves well with the ball, handles the ball well, sees the floor well, can score. It's a good play, a good position.
She makes 1 of 2. So it's a 15-point lead. You know, China's former coach Tom Marr also coached New Zealand. He coached both of these teams. And I think you can see the imprint
He's been a few clubs.
from him coaching this China team. Harman pulls up, and that's how it finishes. So frustrating first half for New Zealand, and impressive first 20 minutes for China. They've come out, they've been physical, they've started hitting their shots, and they're on top 39-24 at halftime. Well, you can see the New Zealand shooting got better inside the arc. They're still just 1 of 6 from deep, whereas China 9 of 17 inside the arc. And they've also hit some threes. And that's the real problem. That's one real problem, is that rebounding. Really the pressure from both teams doing pretty well in New Zealand with the 9 steals. So we're at halftime, and a lot of work to do for New Zealand. China on top and looking good, 39-24. 39-24, China on top of New Zealand. The Chinese, having played at the Olympics last summer, and obviously one of the teams to beat in Asia traditionally over the years, coming out and really giving a good account of themselves today.
Jeff, this has been excellent performance from the Chinese team. We've seen them many times over the years. Maybe a disappointment in the New Zealand team. I just think they're struggling to find a rhythm that they're comfortable with offensively. Defensively, they've got a nice, they're always going to play intense. The big killer for me was going to that zone. It cost them 8 points when they were in the zone, and then 3 more after they came out and went man-to-man, and had already given the Chinese confidence. So you take away that 11 points, and we've got a nice close ball game here.
And they also, they had fallen behind. They came back trailing by 5, had the ball, needless turnover, triggers a fast break for China. They go down and score.
Yeah.
And since that point, it's been an uphill battle for New Zealand, and they've just not at any point in this game have they gotten any semblance of an offense.
No, and that's what worries me. The fact that they haven't got into a rhythm. There's no idea of where they're trying to attack. To me, Harman is the
Gillian Harman.
Gillian Harman, yeah, exactly right. The other Harman. She's the key to this game. She's an offensive threat. She's got a nice touch. She can score in many different varieties. So where do you get to the ball?
They don't have the luxury of her deferring. In other words,
yeah,
they need to ride her back, much like North Korea rode the back of Rowe.
Yeah,
and
Kim. Yeah, exactly.
Although they did have the luxury. The biggest difference you have to say, though, about what New Zealand are facing, that probably with the exception of earlier in the day Korea, they are facing New Zealand are facing a really good Chinese defense. I mean, they've got hands in the face. It's been a tough old ask for them to even try to get into an offense.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct there. I just don't see. It's going to be a hard one for New Zealand to get back in, but they're a gritty team, and if anybody's going to do it, they're going to do it.
So second half underway, and the youngster starts and is going to go right at Purcell and travel. Great defense from Purcell. It's
a good call. I think she traveled twice, actually. The referee's got the second one, which is good.
Chen Nan was the sweet shooting center of China for so many years, but now they're going with this youngster right here, as well as Huang Hongpen, who's been in the team already. And that bounce pass by Cox trying to feed Edmondson.
Well, the timing was all off. Edmondson had gone back door. The defense had covered it halfway, and Cox still threw the pass. And it's those mistakes they've got to get out of.
And they just got it down low. Just didn't look good. And Gao Song misses from the free throw line.
Nice play there from the big youngster, 16, Li Yeru. Managed to get a seal to the high post to get the pass, and then the dump down. Managed to get into offensive rebounding position. Fundamentally very sound.
Now, see, takes your point, puts it up and in. I mean, it's just kind of like, she's got the stroke, just go for it.
Yeah, well, you got to. It's.
And Yoru gets in, follows up her missed shot, and draws the foul.
Jeff, in a similar way that Chinese Taipei had problems, or gave problems to Korea, is that Li Yeru is having all sorts of problems for the New Zealand team, because they can't stop her inside. They've got to make sure they put more pressure on the pass coming outside, and just really be a bit more physical with it.
So the three-point play takes it back to 16, and New Zealand just about don't get it in bounds. Need to get some dribble penetration from somebody else. Harman, and that time perhaps forcing it a bit. And quickly, China. Quickly, Jiasuan And the lead goes back to 18.
Yeah, that was pretty too.
Pavlovas passes up the jumper and drives in. And again, Zhao Xuan just finds her way into the lane, lays it up and in. Pavlovas she moved her feet at first, but then
just a little bit of pressure on the physical side, and she gave up, really, didn't she? Too easy.
Spin, Harman. They've got numbers again. Well, it's 3-on-3. And good D from behind from Purcell to knock it away. Harman just inside the top of the key.
See, to me, that's a good place to get Harman the ball on the high post, where she can go left and right. What they're trying to do is get her into that low post, which is all well and good, but there's nobody rebounding any miss. Well, that could be a foul.
Well, Cox bit the dust.
Barreled her over.
Gao Song's 3 off, but the long rebound to China. And you could see that they are really facing an almighty battle to keep that ball off the low blocks.
What a post-up, too. It was Gao Song just using her body on Harman, just moved her out of the way. Here, see, watch this.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Poor foul from Lee, too. There's no need to foul out there.
Had her hands on Purcell.
And here comes the cavalry for China. 3 in, 3 out.
It just doesn't get any easier, does it?
It does not.
For New Zealand.
Because 14 Huang Hong Pin played pretty well the first half herself.
And Liu Wen's back in. She was an all-tournament selection back in 2013. And All-Star 5 selection. Pavlovas out. Stockhill comes back in. Purcell comes out. Natalie Taylor, her sister, comes back in. There's Edmondson, goes baseline. Out to Taylor. She's open. And that was right off the bench.
Ran to the referee to say maybe it was a foul there, but I didn't see much.
And Stockhill takes it away. And now Taylor pushes it. Li Ming slows her progress. And the ball bounces kindly and ends up into the hands of Harman. But her shot goes in and out.
Tough for Harman there, just rimmed in and out. She's 2 of 5 on the half, but importantly for New Zealand, she's taken 5 shots.
Spin, puts it up. Harman. Well, Stockhill again telegraphed the pass. And Zhao Xuan, that's a couple of passes that she's made that's just been intercepted and taken the other way.
Yeah, and the art of passing, you read the defense. You got to look at the defense when you're going to pass, because the defense will tell you where to pass the ball to. It's tough going right now for New Zealand.
Edmondson.
Frustration foul there for Natalie Taylor.
Look at the steal. She just read the pass easily and took it the other way for 2. And China threatening to lower the boom if they haven't already, in fact. Agnew, first chance to check her out. Comes into the game for New Zealand.
Big admirer of Agnew, aren't you? You like her, the way
I was watching
she plays?
Yep, watching her in yesterday's warm-ups. She's got a nice stroke. I'm pretty sure she's going to put a few up.
Just getting final instructions from. I'm not sure what's going on here. They're going to make it take off.
It's the style police.
Yeah, the fashion police are in town. Yeah, you can't wear the undergarment, I guess.
Look away, gentlemen.
Sprightly bit of work there from Agnew.
Could be that she has a cold. I wonder if you can get dispensation if you don't feel well.
got a story about that actually in the old days where they were banned completely.
Three-pointer. Well, Li Ming doesn't want to hear it. She just wants to shoot. And the lead now 23. She ought to put the ball on the ground, drive, turns, shoots, and scores.
Yeah, nice play, nice play. Probably could have been pinged for a travel there somewhere or carry, but did well.
Lewin, it's online. Well,
yeah, they're shooting the lights out.
They are.
You know, there's not much you can do when a team shoots this well. The zone was really the killer, and you can't really blame the zone for everything, but it gave them confidence, that's for sure.
Here's Ott, actually born in Melbourne, Ott. And foul called. Both her parents come from New Zealand. She's 22 years of age, so she figures this will be a good experience for her. Here's Harman, and fouled by Li Ming.
Yeah, I don't think Harman got that right, really. Got bailed out by Li Ming because just wasted dribble for Harman. She had the baseline drive, but never really utilized it. Li Ming was offering the baseline for her.
Oh, nice pass, breakdown for China, and Harman alertly spotted by Agnew on the inbounds pass.
Yeah, I think you put that down to Li Ming's defense, just not guarding the basket, which should be the inbounder's responsibility. Here's another three.
And China, despite seemingly having 12 bodies on the floor, they're so active.
You know, the thing with the 22-point difference, Jeff, you want a little spark to get your run going, but 22 points, 13 minutes, it's going to be, you'd think it's going to be way too much, wouldn't you?
And that is another telegraph pass that they got away with from Ott. Harman. And Taylor, where's she going? And the tall fern's struggling. And let's say China had the ball before the shot clock expired, and Harman commits the foul.
Third team foul of the quarter, so it's going to not do too much damage except a personal foul against Harman. One more, second foul for her.
So Lee comes back in, the big young center, and she is not Shi Lin, but she is going to inbound it number 4, and it goes off of Lee, out of bounds. Purcell coming back in.
Yeah, the big girl moves well, doesn't she? Maybe her hands are a little suspect. You know, that was a pass that she could have caught one-handed and corralled it in, but turned it over.
Ott puts it up. And Li Ming just backs up Agnew and scores easily.
What a powerful player Li Ming is. Unbelievable.
And the pass ahead to Stockhill. She gets it back inside to Taylor. Purcell drives in, puts it up and in.
That's a nice play to turn the corner. I don't think the offense went for the handoff. You know, look at this Li Ming. Jeff, what future do you think for her?
What was that turnover there?
She stepped over the line on the inbounds. You know, when you just lose your balance trying to get the ball inbounds. You know, to me, I'm looking at Li Ming. She's incredibly tall. Great body for basketball. And can score.
Are you suggesting, Mick, that Li Ming is the complete package?
You know, you don't often find players like that. You know, I'm thinking, well, you know, what would New Zealand do with a player like that? She is very powerful.
And the ball goes right off of Paul Velst and out of bounds.
You know, sometimes you look at players move and you look away, and she doesn't overly look like a basketball player, but she moves like a basketball player.
Xiao Ting's been relatively quiet today, hasn't she? But she's back in the game. She's got the ball.
Yeah, that a little play on words there, shouting very quiet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Had to think about that one. Nice spin, nice move, nice shot from Wong. Look at that swarming Chinese defense, and it ends up.
Well, Palvas put Purcell in a bit of trouble and then wasn't expecting the ball back again. There's an element here. The Chinese are just really taking them out of their game mentally.
Wong gets in, puts it up short. I mean, Huang's got a great body for a basketball player, very long, but
she moves very well as well. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. But doesn't really finish.
Look at Lee playing defense on the perimeter. What's she, 6'7", 6'8"?
Here's Cox getting inside, takes the contact, puts it up and in.
A nice move, and hopefully that'll spur us back to 20, Jeff.
Well, inside 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. I just don't see China letting up.
I reckon from here you're 3 stops away from getting back in the game. If you can get it down to 12, you're in the game.
Well, they got one stop.
Yep.
Now quick pass to Cox. And Taylor. She had the three, so she was going to take it.
Well, he had the opportunity. There's one shot that didn't quite drop for them.
And there's Xiao Ting.
Nice defense too. Another opportunity coming. No.
And Purcell couldn't quite get it off in time. She actually hit it off the rim. But it's a 20-point advantage for China with 10 minutes remaining over New Zealand. So China came out strong, and you know, maybe this is the team to beat in this tournament. You know, we were really high on Australia earlier today, but China, let's don't forget, you know, this has been a tournament that they've won many times over the years, and maybe they've come out tonight wanting to make a statement saying, go ahead and add these teams from Oceania. We're still as good as we were.
Absolutely. I think Australia-China is going to be one matchup, that's for sure. That's the, from looking at day one, that's the top 2 teams right now.
Well, both teams are similar in that they've got a lot of depth, a lot of weapons, perhaps. They like to get in your face and play D.
Yeah.
Maybe, they both have good sides.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's 2 teams that maybe China's got the bigger team as well. They have the 2 bigs, probably big as Tolo. But, you know the way the Australians play. They play hard every game. They never really miss a beat. And this Chinese team is looking very resilient, Jeff. I think it's harder playing teams I've seen out of China for a long time, if ever.
So fourth quarter underway. Last Division A game of the day. And Purcell takes the bump, hits cutting Harman, who decides to go with a little short jump hook. And Xiaoting hustles down, and the ball goes out of bounds, and looked like there might have been a push there, but
well, I was waiting for the whistle. I thought surely you're going to get a whistle here because he's lost balance on the push.
Look at the full court pressure. Okay, it's token full court pressure.
Yeah, they'll back off. Another opportunity, Jeff. This will be the third chance now to break into this 20-point lead.
Purcell, she's been pretty good getting inside, putting them up. Gets her own rebound, puts it up again, sticks with it, still can't convert.
Great defense from Lee, held her ground. Just very intimidating. Just looking for Lee to post up in there. Oh, shot.
What a shot from the captain. Shin drills another three for China. It's been one of their fortes tonight, three-point shooting. Three seconds on the shot clock. Taylor's got to launch it. Xiaoting. Oh, Shin left wide open again. Back-to-back threes from El Capitan.
Yeah, that's a dagger, isn't it? Space of 20 seconds, you've gone from 20 to 26. And New Zealand really, again, no rhythm. Getting bumped all around the place defensively by the Chinese defenders. Excellent play from China.
Oh, Purcell in. If Purcell could stay out of foul trouble, she would be a weapon for them offensively, because she's getting some good looks.
And the problem is they're getting to the ball where she's not really as effective on the high post using the dribble. So and they got the switch, they got the mismatch. Try and work her down low maybe.
Look at these back-to-back threes from Shin.
And closing out so slow. Here's the second one. Nobody closed out on this one. You can't see a white shirt anywhere near her.
Haven't even seen Chen Xiaojia tonight. She's just sat on the bench. Wonder if she's not well. Xiaoting. Xiaoting. Nope, she missed it. Now, Harman. Cox takes the bump and earns a trip to the line.
Yeah, Michaela Cox said was it the pick and roll was coming away. She rejected it, went baseline. The defense expected the pick and roll. And a chance to eat into this lead, 26 down with we got 7:22 left. Harman sits down as well. Her day may be done, Jeff, do you think?
Well, it really depends. You know, tournament play, you do have to manage minutes, and you have to wonder realistically what this New Zealand team can do from this point.
Well, surely would you give Agnew another chance? She started the well, she came in through the third quarter, didn't she? Sat down pretty quickly as well.
Well, she hasn't put her undershirt back on, so it could be that she's expecting to go back in.
Oh, yeah. Well, she needs time, doesn't she? If you're down 26 and you're resting your star.
Lu Win. And offensive rebound, foul from behind.
And there's your problem, Jeff, isn't it? You've gone to zone to try and protect easy buckets under the hoop, and you give up offensive rebounds because you don't box out as well coming out of a zone. It's very difficult sometimes, especially when China throws so many runners at you. The primary focus for box out will be the two bigs for China, but while you're trying to focus on the big with maybe two players, somebody else runs in. In this case, it was Zhao Shuang.
Well, it's good to see her back. She's made it a 25-point lead again for China. Cox drifts in. And the ball goes out of bounds back over to New Zealand.
Rare mistake there for the Chinese. We've seen too many errors offensively, especially in the half court.
So we know that New Zealand are going to play Chinese Taipei. They'll play the Democratic People's Republic of Korea tomorrow, who have come through an exhausting game tonight, which they lost.
And that's not going to be easy for them, is it?
Well, you wonder who is it going to be tougher on? Is it going to be tougher on the North Koreans, or will it be tougher on New Zealand?
My way of looking at it, if you do your homework and you scout them properly, they shouldn't be a problem.
For who?
For New Zealand.
Okay. Because you think that they showed everything they had tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Three-pointer no good. And didn't hit anything, so that's a violation.
I've been wrong before.
Well, there's two surprises for me today. In fact, there's three surprises. Australia looked like they've got a lot more than I anticipated. Democratic Republic of North Korea, I didn't expect that to be a close game today. It was. And I didn't expect China to be this convincing against New Zealand.
No, exactly right. They're. I tell you, having seen the Chinese men play in so many years, this Chinese women's team is playing hard, and you have to. I've seen a Bob Donald coach men's team that plays hard. They haven't played as hard in recent years. Well, but this team is playing with a fair amount of intensity.
Cox from the corner hits
nice shot.
A two. Had the foot on the line. The aim is it's simple, really. I mean, yes, you want to get to the podium here, but first things first, you got to advance from the group. And it's going to be, again, Taylor on line but short. You want to advance from the group, and then you want to win your quarterfinal to get a top 4 place to qualify for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. So just like the other teams that have lost today, they're not out of contention for that top 4 spot, and that's what New Zealand have to remember.
Yeah.
They've played probably the best team in the group tonight, and
it's only day one, too. I mean,
it's day one.
The money's on the line in Thursday, Friday. I'm not sure what day the quarterfinals are. But,
and there's also the element that New Zealand can get better as this tournament goes on. So I'm sure they're disappointed with how things have gone tonight. But much of that has to do with China. I mean, look at the size advantage they've got on the court right now. I don't think New Zealand will be smaller than either Chinese Taipei or Democratic Republic of Korea. And the pass to Stockhill, and she puts it up and in. I think China might actually have the biggest team in this tournament, in fact.
yeah, absolutely. I think when you average things out or look at the bigger, the position, definitely a sizable team.
Oh, right idea. Try to get the bounce pass back to Agnew. Although Agnew, I'm not sure what she would have done with it, because she had her
She was
defender
in the
right on her.
Valley of the Trees too, wasn't she? Going too deep, you're going to get drowned in there. Good offense. You're going to get a wide open shot.
And China once again. Well, they've done a good job preparing for this tournament. They've come out all guns blazing. They're up 71-46. .339 to go. So Harman, she's out of the game right now. She's got 14 points. Purcell is leading the way with the rebounds, as you can see, with the 6 boards. 15 points for Lee, leading the way. Also has the 9 rebounds. Not bad at all.
Is that Ming Lee or is that Yuru Lee? Lee Yuru? It's Ming Lee, isn't it? Lee Ming.
No, it's it was 15 points. Yeah, it must be, but they've only got her down for one rebound on the stats that I've got.
Well, it's a different Lee, isn't it?
Sorry,
it's Lee Yuru, the rebounds, and Lee Ming, the points.
Lee Ryu has the 3 points and the 9 rebounds.
Yeah, but she leads rebounds, Lee Yuru.
Okay, sorry, I was confused there.
Yeah.
So it's Lee Ming with the 15 points.
We got to get our stats guys.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, they've got 2 leads. I see what you mean. Yeah. So one's leading in the rebounding, and one's leading in the
North
scoring.
Korea had 4 Kims, and the coach was Kim.
Yeah.
4 Kims and 2 packs.
Kind of hard to pick a best player for China, to be honest. I mean, they've all been pretty solid.
Well, I think both Lees, you're right. Lee Ming and Lee Yuru have been very, very good. That's not a foul, referee.
But Shin has been good. She hit those 3s, remember?
Yeah, absolutely. And that broke the back of that 20-point, didn't it? You know, you had those opportunities to get it below 20. You see Huang's.
Zhao Xuan's been good on her return, obviously, 14 points. You got Gao Song with the 6 points, 8 rebounds. And we haven't even seen Chen Zhaozha. And here's Wong in the open floor.
Yeah, tough pass to make there for Stockhill. The pass was never on as it looked, but she was determined to throw it.
Oh, Hong drives, gets the foul, and will go to the line.
I tell you what I've seen with this Chinese team is the extra level of athleticism that I've not seen in a Chinese women's team before. You know, traditionally not as physically strong, but this team, you look at them, there's some strength physically on this team. Maybe
well, I think I remember Tom Marr saying he was, said there was a lot of promise coming through the ranks.
Yeah. I remember in the old days talking to Donald about the men's program, and he said the biggest problem was getting them on, weight training programs.
Number 6 into the game, Gillings for New Zealand. Bygate gets the high pick, gives it back. Excuse me, Agnew gives it back to her, to Bygate. New Zealand need another. They've got Harman, they've got Edmondson. And
let them play, ref. They're having a nice little battle in there, Franklin and Lee Jiru.
Yep. Dina Franklin also in the game for the first time. So with New Zealand, we know that Harman's got the game. Edmondson can get some dribble penetration and scoring. It would help them. They need that 3rd and 4th score to be consistent for them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And they're 1-3-1 here. Every team now in this group has seen this 1-3-1 zone. They're obviously going to use it a bit more. That's the pass to you, Jeff, I think.
Thanks. Wait, let me get it. I got it. Just let me spin it on my finger for a second. Okay, take it away, guys. Oh, nice turn, but Bygate doesn't score.
Yeah, they got the switch and then got the mismatch down low, which was good to see. Didn't quite get the finished product.
And Hong with the long one. Agnew with the rebound in the open floor. And then she has it taken away by Huang. A little naive at times by New Zealand not thinking they can get away with some of their passes and their dribbles.
Absolutely right.
But, you know, that's also experience, and it's at the level that you play at. What do you do as Odd comes back in if you're New Zealand, Kiriyama? I know you told me earlier today, you know what, you get beat like a drum, you just don't even talk about it after the game. You go back to the hotel, you start looking ahead to tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, well, the different coaches are different, aren't they? I mean, some prefer to have that talk and point the finger around the change room. You know, you're here for a long, long time. You're together for a long, long time. None of these players knows or doesn't realize they've let the team down or in different ways, and they could have done better. They all understand that. So sometimes as a coach, you don't need to remind them. It's the finer points they need help on. How do we improve? How do we make tomorrow a better day?
Here's Agnew. She drives in and gets the basket.
Yeah, I see why you like her so much, Jeff, in terms of her ability.
She's a good-looking player. I mean, she's definitely. I think it's an experience factor, perhaps. Just needs to get more of it. And now an offensive foul called on China.
Yeah, fouls on Shen Yi there, moving screen.
But I like a lot of this China team, this physicality, first of all, on defense, and that's where it all starts.
Absolutely.
For them.
Absolutely. You like it a lot, do you?
I like it, I like it, I like it. Here's Agnew again, into the corner. And to be honest, I'm not sure that New Zealand anticipated it was going to be this physical.
No,
physical in the defense.
Absolutely right.
They were almost caught a little bit in that regard. 30 seconds remaining.
I wonder if they're just a little undercooked offensively. Maybe not enough avenues to score.
Well, that's definitely true. But the way the Chinese got after them, I mean, it was, even if they had their options, they were going to find it difficult. You're right. And Lee gets inside. Another basket for her. Hasn't really scored much tonight, just 5 points. Here's Agnew, step back, puts it up, and doesn't get the love from the rim on the backboard. And that is it. So the game comes to an end for New Zealand. Impressive start for China, flexing their muscle, if you will. We're going to be the team to beat, they say. They win it 77-48 over New Zealand. Impressive show from the Far East Giants.
Yeah, players shaking hands there. It's back to the drawing board for the tall ferns, but for China, it's business as usual. And I'll repeat it again. This is a team that's got their intensity right, got their mindset right, and looking very, very good. See the stats there, Jeff. New Zealand 1 3-pointer, 8 for China. Went to work on the beyond the arc, and 20 of 35. The number of times they got the bigs inside with layups.
Yeah, I mean, they've doubled them up on the rebounds.
2 offensive for New Zealand against 8 for China. Turnovers equal, 21 apiece.
Well, defensively, this New Zealand team was there in the first half. Offensively, they've got a lot of issues. And as you said, maybe, as you look at the game leaders there, you know, maybe they'll go back and look at the game and say, maybe we should have just stuck with that man. But it's difficult to say. It's easy for us to say, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a 29-point game, so there's other areas in that zone period, but that zone period didn't help them. They gave up too many points. It leaked it very quickly, and you know, sometimes those shots don't go in, and you think I'm the hero because I've changed defenses with that in a key game, first game of the tournament. Sometimes when I used to coach, you would always resist going to a zone at the high levels because you know a couple of shots and the game's out of your reach very quickly.
Well, these highlights, you know, if you watch them, you can see how ruthless at times China were against New Zealand. And they were really able to hurt them in a myriad of ways. They were able to get it inside, down low. They were able to get some a lot of their jumpers to fall. And as the game kind of wore on, they were able to hurt them with their dribble penetration. So tough game here for this New Zealand team, and very impressive. And I think it bodes well for Chinese basketball that they've come out and been as strong as they have.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A few errors. I mean, the 17 turnovers when they're leading to layups, it's always going to be uphill task. And I didn't see the other way around either. Chinese mistakes didn't lead to easy buckets for New Zealand. They had to fight very hard for every one of their 48 points.
So China know they've got a big win under their belts and have taken a massive step. Probably you could even argue they've got one foot already in the quarterfinals. And they will be thinking now, you know, let's don't mess around. Let's get that World Cup berth sewn up and let's go out. Because this is a team, again, that's kind of fallen in the pecking order a little bit against Japan. And now with Takashiki absent from Japan, they'll probably like their chances against them. But on the other hand, they're going to have to cope with the likes of Australia, perhaps down the road, as they try to get back to the top of the podium. So, one final time, a convincing win for China over New Zealand on the opening day of the FIBA Asia Women's Championship here in Bengaluru, India. Thanks for watching, everybody.